Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia and welcome back to the Syrian situation. And I haven't covered this in like maybe 2 weeks because I was busy moving house and settling in. Yeah, so no time to really look into the Syrian stuff. So I'm gonna give you some quick update, but I want to break this part only for this video. I'm only going to talk about the SDF situation with the SNA, which is the Turkish-backed forces. So because there is a lot of things happening in Syria, and they feel like they are all different stories. Like if you lump them all together, it gets really confusing. So we are going to talk about the Kurds, the SDF. So the Americans have came to the rescue of the SDF. So in the latest information that we have the United States or the coalition forces sending reinforcement from Iraq into northeast Syria, and this has been ongoing for some time already. And there is more. There is already sighting of American convoys and troops in the eastern part of Syria already in the SDF controlled zone or the Kurdish controlled areas. And we have a number of areas that they have been deployed. They had deployed at the border at Kobani with Turkey. They have also been deployed close to the crossing opposite Manbij. This is also the area where they have some major fightings happening around these areas, which I will talk about in a while. And other places, including the Ain Issa, where this is another major city that is at the front line, as well as over at Raqqa. Raqqa had always been a American region controlled area, so that's where they are. They have also crossed the river at Ratla, and there is this base. This El Taka air base, which was previously under the Syrian control, which, if I'm not wrong, they have never fell during the initial, the first Syrian Civil War. Now I believe this is my assessment that is now under US control because the SDF have no air force. So, and the Americans probably has taken over this air base to conduct their area operations, because I don't think they have an air base around this area here. Oh no, I use another color. This area here, they have an air base here, which is probably, this is a probable one over at Tel Baida. This is a probable air base. You can see this is a bit American in terms of its design. Otherwise, the next airbase is actually pretty far away, probably over at this area here. This is another airbase. So the Americans have expanded their control, generally speaking, with the fall of the Assad government, and they basically have returned to the level of expansion, in a way, if you want to call it that. Similar to the days where there is ISIS, is still a major force, and SDF was fighting in the Syrian Civil War. So they pretty much returned to that kind of sector. What is this? Oh, this was yeah. So this was the initial warning that I mentioned in the last SIRAP on the 8th of September. December. The United States has warned the HTS and the SNA from invading into SDF control areas. So the fighting is largely not per se inside of the SDF initial control area. They are actually fighting in the previous Assad controlled regions. So there is also American forces deployed opposite of Deir al-Zor, which is now taken over by the HTS forces, by the new Syrian government. They have taken over Deir al-Zor, and basically they seem to have some kind of arrangement, I guess, that allows the HTS to basically go up, use another color, go up all the way to just off Madan. So and based on the mapping that I saw, the SDF, the Kurdish, also seems to have control over this entire highway region. And it is important to note that the desert could be still infested with ISIS forces. So there is no indication that ISIS has been entirely eliminated yet. And the situation is still pretty much in flux, with the Israelis doing airstrikes as they wish all over Syria. The new Syrian government can only talk, which is kind of weird, considering that they are a massive conqueror of Syria. They overthrew the Assad government and somehow become a chihuahua versus the Israelis, which is that bizarre. So So that's the current American situation where the Americans have reinforced the SDF, and this is to deter against the Turkish from trying to invade into this eastern part of Syria, which is under the protection, or basically they are the protectorate of the Americans, because the Americans have major oil refineries and oil facilities over on the eastern part, and they really want to keep all these oil field and oil refineries in the American control. They have another one over here. This is El Omar. This is also a very big one, the Tanak. So the Americans want to protect their own influence and control over all these oil fields, and the Turkish really want to get rid of the Kurds. So this is basically a stalemate at this moment between the Turkish and the Americans. However, fighting continues between the Turkish-backed SNA and the SDF, the Kurdish forces. So one of the major fighting currently right now that is happening is over these two crossings. So there's these two crossings around here, and the SDF forces already lost Manbij. They have really lost Manbij to the SNA, the Syrian National Army. So, and they are currently trying to push back. And these Kurdish-backed forces really wanted to cross over the river. They really want to cross over. They tried. Even the last Sirat, like for 2 weeks ago, they were trying to cross the river, but to no avail. They didn't manage to do it. Instead, the Kurdish forces have actually crossed the river. At this moment, the latest information we had is that they have crossed the river and successfully kind of I wouldn't say a bridgehead, but they are definitely not kicked out by the Turkish-backed SNA forces. So tentatively, there is still fighting in these two areas here. There was initial SNA declaration of success, and then after that, turned out that the SDF actually was the one winning. So there is some fighting around this sector. So we'll definitely continue to monitor. Actually, I should go into another view. Maybe it looks better. So I forgot that I can actually Google Earth. So the beach looks much better. So there is this crossing, as you can see. There's the crossing, and there's another crossing around here along the Euphrates rivers. So these two crossing. So let me draw the crossing in another color. So these are the two crossings, and the SDF forces has basically attack across and managed to successfully have some kind of a beachhead or bridgehead along this area here. The SDF, the SNA, the Turkish-backed forces, the Turkish forces, let's just call them the Turkish forces. No, it is what it is. They are still around. They have control Manbij, but I got a feeling that the size of their forces is also not that huge, which also a signal to why they are unable to push through to the SDF control area. There's a high chance that the FDF actually have a bigger army than the SNA. There's a possibility, unless the Turkish themselves enter war with their own military, pretending to be SNA forces. Then there's a possibility. So there is some fighting in these sectors. So we shall see how this continue to play out in this area. So I just want to show you the airbase. This is this was the Syrian airbase. Is most likely under American control right now. So another major news that happened over the past 2 weeks was the SDF retaking of Dayr Hafir. So previously this was actually lost to the SNA. The SNA successfully pushed all the way to El Madam, and they were unable to break into this El Jarrah airbase, where the SDF managed to control this area here. Let's use blue. You can't see. So, and then there was a counter attack somehow by the SDF. It was not really reported, the fighting. Suddenly we have SDF showing that they have caught some Turkish-backed fighters here, and it was just a few people, and they captured them over at Dayr Hafir, and it just shows how guerrilla-ish this war seems to be. It's not like a big army versus big army situation. So SDF currently retook Dayr Hafir, have some zone of control in this area. They have zone of control in this area, and yeah, so this is the current situation in this sector, which is south of this major battle that was being fought. So this was the major battle, and then they have a position around this area. So it's still pretty much a stalemate. The SNA doesn't seem to have the strength to really engage in a major war without the Turkish backing. That's the feeling that I get. Unless Turkish army, the Turkish military involve themselves, basically invading into Syria, I don't think that they can ever defeat the SDF, especially not with American backing, with American air support. So and other mapping changes is that this entire region here, there's this another straight road all the way. This entire region is now confirmed to be under SDF control. Previously, there was some protests over at Maskana. I think it didn't work out. The SDF still retain control. So this area here leading all the way to the south of Raqqa, this entire region seems to be considered like a buffer zone for the SDF. Because if they lost position on this western bank of the Euphrates, then I think the Americans is going to lose access to the rest of Syria. So that is the main gist of the situation with the wow, this is so complicated, so many words. So this is the main gist of the Kurdish situation. I'll do separate videos talking about the Free Syrian Army with the HTS, and then probably another separate video on the Israeli invasion into Syria. Yeah, if this video is going to get very bloated. So thank you for watching. Press the like button, subscribe. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you guys in the next update. Ho ho ho.